Good morning, Assalamu alaikum to everyone. And my name is Dr. Unab Gazdar. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Bahrain, Department of Civil Engineering. And the topic of my presentation today will be determining travelers' perception for park and ride services in Bahrain. And it is related to my area of expertise, which is transportation planning. What is park and ride? It's usually applied to a dedicated bus service that links a car park, that's a large car park which is near to a congested area. That congested area can be a town or a city center, and or maybe to another service, for example a railway mode, or for example an airport. Okay, again, if I give the example of London, then Heathrow Airport has all these connections and the parking areas. Okay, and when the causeway was open, even Bahrain Airport had some visitors coming from Saudi Arabia and taking the flights from there, so they were also using a sort of a park and ride service there. So to that car park we have good access, and after that you park your car and then you move ahead with bus service. Okay, so this bus service usually runs non-stop. Okay, within the allotted time slot it runs non-stop. Okay, because it is just coming and going. Okay, and so the car park is usually around the periphery of the area, and then you go via bus towards the center of the area. Okay, with very few stops in between. In the off-peak hour you can ban this bus service, and you can allow the public transport to do the same thing. If there's a public transport stop, a bus stop for the regular bus service near the parking lot, then in the off-peak hours you can use that regular bus service as to facilitate the park and ride system. uh, Park and ride has to reduce congestion in the urban areas mainly. Okay, and it allows the drivers to leave their car in an uncongested area where they have good access, and then they can move ahead with the bus towards the center, which is the congested area. So our study was done in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and Kingdom of Bahrain is a combination of 33 islands, which have the biggest of the landmass in its territory, and the total area is 770 square kilometers. It has a population of 1.57 million, which is a slightly old figure, maybe from 4 or 5 years ago. And with this area and this population, it becomes a very thickly populated country. So it is the fourth most thickly populated state on the earth. Now, what are the objectives of this research? First of all, we found that there are no area-wide park and ride system in Bahrain. There are some other systems which are implemented at a smaller scale. I will show you in a minute. Okay, but there are no area-wide park and ride systems. But the authorities in Bahrain have already realized that they are facing traffic congestion problems and other related problems. So they are planning for future to have LRT and metro services in Bahrain. So with these services, they would be surely, for sure, there would be a question of uh, providing it with a park and ride system. So when that point comes, then we should know what will be the acceptability of the system for the users. Okay, and this is what led us, or what led me to initiate this research. Okay, so this research was about finding out the perception of and awareness of people about these systems. Okay, whenever they are implemented, and we wanted to know their preference as well. Okay, so how much they are aware of the system and how much is their preference for the system. And I'm only presenting one part of the study here. Okay, we further went forward and actually proposed a system, the whole system. Okay, for a specific area in Bahrain, but that is not part of this presentation right now. So the limitation of this research was that it was conducted for the diplomatic area. Okay, and this area has government officers from Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Works, and other diplomatic offices are there, and there are some big hotels and big plazas are there. Okay, so the area is facing some congestion problems. This is for sure. Okay, but we only limited to this area. Obviously, there are other congested areas in Bahrain, but we limited ourselves to this area. The objectives of the park and rides services are to provide a transfer service, okay, to reduce a parking demand in the congested locations, okay, and it is a sort of a it is one of the strategies of transportation demand management. Okay, so we have two types of strategies to manage congestion. We have transportation demand management and we have transportation supply management. This is one of the demand management strategies where you are trying to reduce the demand of cars or vehicles in the congested area. So it can help in reducing the parking spaces in the public areas, and it can also uh, be used to control the parking charges. Okay, there are park and ride systems implemented all over the world. Some of the examples are here. It is being implemented in the North American countries, in the United and the North America. Sorry, North American countries, North America, United Kingdom, Canada, and Hong Kong. Okay, so these countries already have already implemented it, and uh, they think it's you know their experience is quite good. So the advantages of park and ride services are that it reduces the traffic and congestion level on the urban routes, okay, in the congested area itself, and it reduces then the need for increasing the capacity of these routes. Okay, so you have less congestion, you have less demand, then you don't need to increase the capacity. So you are serving the existing users, and also you are saving something for the future investment as well. And obviously, when you reduce the demand, then you are reducing the emission levels, energy use, and other environmental impacts as well. Uh, then you reduce the parking demand in the congested area, and you replace it with the parking in the other location where the land is cheaper and more readily available. Okay, so you are reducing the demand from a congested area where the land is not readily available, and if it is available, it will be costly. Okay, so shifting that demand to a cheaper land is beneficial in both cases. So park and ride doesn't only have the effects or good effects on traffic, it has other indirect benefits as well, and some of them are listed here. So for example, uh, it improves or encourages the use of public transport because you have to use it through park and ride. It improves the quality of life for the inner city because you will reduce the emissions, the noise level, and the traffic congestion and the delay for the people who are already within the city center. And I, being from a very congested city of Karachi, I know all about this. Then you will stimulate economic growth in the city center because you are improving accessibility. Okay, so people will be more willing to come towards the area, and you are providing additional parking facilities to the users in that area, so they will be benefited. Park and ride examples, as I said, are there in Bahrain, and I have listed three institutions here which are having park and ride services inside their compounds or inside their facilities. Okay, so Ministry of Education, King Hamad University Hospital, and University of Bahrain has a park and ride services. So you can park your cars there, and you can take the bus to roam around the facility or inside the facility. University of Bahrain has the golf cart system for the Isatown campus because it's relatively short, small, and you can also take a bus to the other campus. Okay, so you park your car in one of the campuses and then you can move around the campus or from one campus to the other using the university bus service. But so these are park and ride services implemented at a smaller scale. Okay, so the data collection in our study was done through questionnaire survey. Okay, so there were 8 questions. Okay, and they were answered by 150 people. Okay, so the sample size was 150, and this sample size was collected by students who went to that area, and they asked the travelers themselves. So it was not done online or something, it was done inside the area. So that's why we had to stop at 150 because even for 150 it took a lot of time from us. And obviously, people are not willingly answering your questions when you are stopping them, you know, in the parking area or something. Okay, they feel like inconvenient. Then we use logistic regression model to analyze the responses to find out uh, if the users will be willing to use a park and ride service, and what type of users, what type of travelers will be going for this system. Why did we use a logistic regression? Because it is the most suitable model when you have a binary dependent variable, which was in our case, yes and no, whether you will go for park and ride or no. It approximates normal distribution quite well, which is the case with randomly collected data. It should be having normal distribution, and then it becomes convenient for implementation and so on. And then you can know from the model which variables are significant, which variables are significantly affecting the choice of the traveler. So because of these reasons, we went for logistic regression model. Okay, obviously there are other models available. Okay, and it can be tried in future. Okay, if someone of you wants to collaborate further with me on this research, we have the data, we can go for the other models as well. Okay, let me just give a brief outlook about the responses we got. Okay, so the picture on the left hand side is telling you about the modes by which people usually come to this area, the diplomatic area. So you can see coming by car is quite high. Then we have taxis, and coming with others is also by car. Okay, and then the share of public transportation is very low. So this is the share of public transportation. Okay, and then we have people who are going to different destinations. So for parking demand, destination is also very important. Okay, so we have people going to Jawazat, which is I think the visas office, then Ministry of Housing, then the port, then the Ministry of Commerce and Land. Okay, so there were a lot of people going at that time to Ministry of Housing. Okay, Benin has a lot of expats, so a lot of people going to Jawazat and so on. Okay, then there is another aspect about the current parking demand, which is how much time they require to find a parking area. So this is on the left hand side. So you can see many people said they need more than 15 minutes to find the parking space. Okay, and then you come on the right hand side, and this image is showing you how many for how much time the people usually park, and you can see a large population is parking for more than 1 hour, which is a significant duration of parking. Then we applied the logistic regression model. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so now you can see the whole table here. Okay, so the variables which were used. Okay, what type of traveler you are, you visitor or employee, how you are coming, did you use public transportation, did you use paid parking, how long did you how long were you searching for the parking space, uh, you know then there are question about the opinion about the current parking system. Okay, for how long did you park, the duration. Okay, and then the dependent variable, whether you will go for uh, the park and ride system if it is implemented or not. So within the question we also provided them a brief introduction about park and ride system as well. Okay, so it was part of the question. Even if they didn't know, then we provide them a brief introduction so that they can answer this question informatively. Okay, so this is the model we got in the end after applying the logistic regression. So you can see in this model we have three important variables. First of all, the method of coming towards the area. Okay, so as I've shown you in the previous table, uh, people who are coming alone had a variable of 1, and they are coming with someone, then they had a variable of 0. So negative means a negative coefficient means that people who are coming with someone are more likely to use a park and ride because they're already sharing the ride with someone. The people who are coming alone are less likely to use a park and ride service. If they have used the paid parking, then they are more likely to use the park and ride system because they are already getting affected by and they are already paying extra money. Okay. Then the parking duration, it has a negative coefficient. Okay, so if they are parking for longer duration, they are less likely to use the park and ride system because let me tell you, these people will be the employees who are coming towards that area, and so their parking duration is longer, and they have their dedicated parking services. Okay, their facilities, each ministry has their own dedicated parking services for the employees, so they will not go for park and ride obviously because they are already facilitated. Okay, so in the end, we found that parking is a problem in that area, so our selection of that area was justified. Majority of the respondents said that the current parking facilities are insufficient, okay, which are on street and for general public. 70% of them said that they will go for park and ride system. They will go for a park and ride service. Then I showed you the logistic regression, that the mode choice, how they're coming towards that area, duration of parking, and the previous use of paid parking has a significant effect on the choice of the travelers. Okay. The coefficients of the model suggests that visitors are more likely to use a park and ride system as compared to the employees, and which makes sense, right? Coming towards an area for a smaller duration, then you are more likely to use a park and ride or system such as park and ride. Okay. Uh, so we recommend that these strategies should be applied to diplomatic area as well as other congested areas in Bahrain, as people are willing to use these facilities and this system. Okay, and it will provide an efficient and sustainable solution for the congested areas, which is the theme of this conference as well. So thank you all for listening. If in case you have any questions right now, you can send it to me on this email or directly ask me. Or if you see something for collaboration later on, you can contact me through this email. Thank you.